Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Raw report for the 14th of December, 2020. And it finally happened. Raw went to the lowest ever rating. I think that's like 1.5 million people. So in 30 years, that's what it took. And I couldn't be happier. And it's not for the talent. It's for the fact that finally karma is coming to get a company that hasn't cared about its product, in my opinion, in at least 15 years, maybe 20. And I hope it drops to 1.3, 1.5, 1.1, whatever it takes for somebody there to wake up. In all honesty, I completely support the continued drop because hopefully it means that eventually something will happen to a point where things have to change for the better and everybody wins. If that takes another year, if that takes another 6 months, who knows? But I have to say I love the drop because it's going to force the hand at some point. Anyway, announcers run down the card. Ascension ceremony, which is basically a contract signing, is promised. Um, and the WWE title will be suspended above the ring. Nightmare before TLC. Miz is in the ring. He reads this. There's a picture of Styles on the cover. The lights are off. Spotlight's on Miz. He snaps his finger. And a spotlight reveals Styles standing in the ring. Styles reminds Miz to introduce Almas, and a spotlight reveals him as well. Miz says he didn't forget, and he says he left him out to save times. And so Miz basically reads the story, and Morrison's out there. Morrison's dressed as McIntyre. We're basically a Scottish knockoff. Morrison said his lines with a Scottish accent, and he's told to stick to the script. Styles and Morrison began acting out a fight. Miz narrated Styles stabbed Morrison with a sword and climbed to the ladder to victory. Miz said the story's over and then went on to say he would cash in on Styles and win the championship. Styles is angry about this. He says that's not in the script. Sheamus interrupted, says he's ready to fight. And Styles hurls a Christmas tree at Sheamus. Sheamus responds by throwing a gift box at his head. This was just horrible. I don't. So we're supposed to mock the champion, and that's supposed to make people want to watch a network preview that they have to, in theory, pay $10 for. How? Explain this, please. Anyway, but then we go to Styles with Almas versus Sheamus. They go nearly 16 minutes. Sheamus grabs Styles and sets him up for a powerbomb on the outside about 5 minutes in. Almost grabs Styles away, saves him from that. Referee stood and watched, didn't do anything, no DQ, just kind of there. A stare down between Sheamus and Almost happens, so apparently they'll have a match somewhere in the future. Anyway, Styles goes after the knee, gets a near fall off a backbreaker. Styles hits a flying clothesline for a near fall again. Styles hooks a calf crutcher. Sheamus gets a rope break. Sheamus comes back with the white noise for a near fall. Sheamus is limping as he places Styles on his shoulders and climbs the turnbuckle. So if you're limping, which means your leg or knee or some semblance of lower body part hurts, why are you climbing anything? Anyway, Styles slips out, nails a chop block, and gets a pinfall. Styles brags after the match. Almost makes a save when Sheamus tries to continue the fight. Styles grabs a steel chair and nails Sheamus with it repeatedly. Even though they're not in a feud, we're using weapons. Why? Then I know some people liked this, but number one, Sheamus hasn't been relevant since about 2012. Number 2, Styles has the biggest match he's had in 6 months, if not longer, in less than a week, and yet we're throwing him away here. Number 3, we've done the comedy spot to make Styles look completely ridiculous. Anyway, Hurt Business bully some guy backstage who's eating a bronut, which is a donut presented by Riddle, who doesn't deserve a first name. Bobby Lashley dumps the entire box of milk and bronuts on the guy. Sarah is out, and she looks like she wants to run away. They invite her to interview the Hurt Business. She asked MVP about his match against Riddle and said he's focused on Lashley. MVP thought this was amusing, that Riddle could be focused on anything. Good point, because that's how they've portrayed him. They've portrayed him as a aloof stoner. And then MVP puts over the Hurt Business. Riddle approaches New Day and Jeff Hardy. He said they all missed Big E, so he suggested accompanying them to ringside as Bro-E. Yes, I kid you not. Kofi Kingston likes the idea, which means he's crapping on the gimmick that he's had for literally years that made him a living on television, which is stupid. Hardy told him he liked the Hardy Bros idea. Riddle is happy. Poor Riddle. So much talent, and they're throwing him away with this useless stuff. We go into the second hour with a 6-man tag match. Bobby Lashley, the U.S. champion, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin with MVP, defeating Jeff Hardy and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods with Riddle. Kingston's in control over Benjamin early. Lashley gets involved, tosses him out of the ring. Hurt Business take over after that, and there's a long heat segment. Kingston gets beat up for a long time. He eventually hits a foot stomp. Hardy tags in. Hardy is on offense, but Alexander blind tags and hits a knee strike. Everyone gets in, everyone trades spots, and then there's a dive on Benjamin. Woods tries to dive, Lashley caught him and basically knocked him down. Hardy knocked down Lashley with a baseball slide. Hardy and Alexander trade roll-ups for a few minutes, some near falls there. Lashley blind tags in. This is right as Hardy's giving Alexander the twist of fate. Lashley goes after Hardy. Hardy fights back and knocks down Lashley, but Lashley finally gets back on top and gets the Hurt lock on for the submission victory. Alexander celebrates like crazy, like he's the one that actually won the fall. Lana admits that Asuka that she's scared to face Nia Jax. Asuka said she's still going out there to do it, which made her the bravest person she knew. Wow, that means poor Asuka doesn't know that many people. Lana defeats Nia Jax at 145. Jack tries to press slam, but Lana counters into a Rana. Lana manages to hit a double foot stomp, then cradled her for the pinfall win. Shock of Nia Jax. I mean, I'm not a Nia Jax fan. I honestly, if she wasn't related to The Rock, I don't think she'd have a job, but still, you've been building her for weeks, and Lana slips over like this, and it's in less than 2 minutes. Anyway, Lana celebrates. Shayna Baszler lays out Asuka in the back. Baszler goes to the ring and attacks Lana. Baszler did an arm break and stomps on Lana's leg. And Asuka runs out to save Lana, and etc. So, Elias has a segment with Jason Riker. Both of these people could be let go and it wouldn't matter. Elias is in the ring with Riker. Elias spoke about being electrocuted in his match a few weeks ago. Doctors told him most people would be completely eliminated by this, but he's no ordinary man. He called it being baptized by lightning. This is just stupid. Riker says that Elias's music has changed him. Elias said being interrupted was over. Elias began playing a song dedicated to Lana. R-Truth slips in the ring. R-Truth wanted to apologize for interrupting. And Truth decided to stop this. A bunch of 24/7 geeks run down to the ring. Riker beats them up, allowing Truth to escape, and this was a complete waste of television time. Which, I mean, if you're going to kill the program, you might as well do it. Anyway, Miz and Morrison discuss strategy backstage. Keith Lee approaches them with an idea. He has a coin and told them to call it. Miz called heads. Lee flipped the coin and said they both won. And it was the only thing that they were winning tonight. 2-on-1 handicap match. Miz and Morrison defeated Keith Lee. Keith Lee is one of the guys they could actually push and people would care about. Instead, Vince has decided he doesn't know how to wrestle and they're punishing him, and he loses to Miz and Morrison in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Lee knocks Morrison out of the ring with a pounce. Miz is too far away, but sells the move anyway. The commercial break about a minute and a half into the match. Lee's in control post-break. Miz and Morrison mount a comeback, and then they put Lee in a double submission. Lee goes for a spirit bomb. Morrison slips out. Morrison and Miz each hit a series of kicks and get a pinfall win. And this is just stupid. Then we go to the third hour Bray Wyatt segment. Wyatt enters. He's wearing a Fiend Christmas sweater. He said this has to be one of the stupid... Phillips says this has to be one of the stupidest things on Raw. I guess he hasn't watched 30 years of Raw. Anyway, puppets are watching from behind the barricade. Wyatt's happy to be there, but he wanted to apologize to Randy Orton. He called what happened in their match a misunderstanding. He says the Fiend has a deranged mind. Wyatt wished Orton could have settled things, but it's too late once Orton faces him on Sunday. Wyatt says that this would be no fun games at TLC. TLC won't be any fun tonight. Wyatt prepared some jokes for Orton. He read a bunch of dad jokes and laughed uproariously, and the puppets laughed too. Orton appears on screen. Orton admitted to being outmaneuvered by the Fiend a few weeks ago, but it wasn't going to happen again. Orton suggested Wyatt take a field trip, and Orton wanted to play a game of hide and seek. Wyatt chuckled and accepts. This is, again, stupid. Speaking of stupid and a waste of talent, Mace with Retribution, yes, they're still running this angle, only about 50% of the time, defeat Ricochet in just under 3 minutes. Mustafa Ali joins on commentary, and the rest of Retribution's out with him. They do a pre-tape promo where Mace says he stepped over people like Ricochet, and Ricochet is going to get stepped on tonight. Ali noted that Samoa Joe was sitting on a seat once held by Mace. I don't even understand that. Anyway, Ali sent Slapjack to the ring. Ricochet fought him off. Ricochet knocked T-Bar off the apron as well. Referee watches and does nothing. Mace gave Ricochet a sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Ali tells Mace to put him down. Mace hits a swinging slam for a pinfall win. Ali tells Ricochet this is will only end when he joins them. Wyatt runs into Riddle in the back. Riddle has an idea, and he says that they should have a segment on the Funhouse about pronouns. Wyatt says he's a little busy and left. Riddle spoke to the rabbit puppet like it's real. He wanted an autograph for his pet rabbit. He has a carrot in his pocket and handed it to the rabbit with a Sharpie. Rabbit attempted to sign the carrot, and this is apparently a good idea. Dana Brooke defeated tag team champion Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Lana has been taken to a local medical facility with horrible injuries, and she'd be unable to team with Asuka on Sunday. Asuka therefore needs a new partner. DQ when Jax shoves Brooke off the top rope. Saxon complains about rules not mattering, but they haven't mattered for the rest of the show, so, well, who cares? Anyway, They're going to beat up Brooke. Mandy Rose comes out with a kendo stick. Yes, we've seen kendo sticks like 7 weeks in a row now. And they make the save. They knock her down. Asuka shows up and cleans house. Truth speaks to the pig puppet in the back. Wyatt shows up and apparently Truth thinks that's his son. Conclusion of the hide and seek segment's up next. Wyatt's looking for Orton after the break. He found a rocking chair in a dark room, which was rocking on its own. Wyatt sits down in the chair. Orton appears behind him and attacks him. Orton shoved Wyatt into a box and closes it. Orton tosses gas on the box and sets it on fire, so now we have an official crime. Orton is pleased with himself for this. Fiend pops out of the box. Fiend puts Orton down with the mandible claw. Poor Mick Foley wasted so much time getting that move over, and now it's just a throwaway concept. Anyway, Riddle defeats MVP in under a minute. Riddle hits a floating bro and takes Lashley down afterwards. Riddle runs away. Riddle eats a donut to celebrate. Yes, this happened. Anyway, Ascension Ceremony, which is basically a contract signing. McIntyre comes out with a sword, and McIntyre enters wearing the championship belt. He explains that the belt will be above the ring. They'd have one more chance to address each other, and he explained this rather awkwardly. Styles is confused with a guy the size of McIntyre. Took 19 years to win the championship. So basically, it's taken 2 decades for a guy to get to the top of a company that's falling and failing. And fans at home are supposed to think this guy is a hero. Anyway, and he says he thought it's because he can't handle the pressure. Styles noted that this is the first singles match that he and McIntyre would have, and their first TLC match. Styles thinks McIntyre is making a mistake signing for the match, and he noted that he has defended the title in a TLC match over Dean Ambrose once before. Styles told him to kiss the belt goodbye. McIntyre knew what the people wanted to see. He and Styles wrestle, and he said he's never been in a TLC match. McIntyre wasn't just the champion. He knew what it took to stay on top. McIntyre called himself the champion who led the WWE through uncharted waters in 2020. Poor guy. One who could handle the pressure and one who would destroy Styles. Not very likely. Anyway, McIntyre is willing to do whatever it takes to retain the title. McIntyre placed the belt on the apparatus. It's raised above the ring, and Styles warns McIntyre that this is the only time that he would have to face him. Miz and Morrison jump in the ring. They attack McIntyre. McIntyre fights back. Miz and Styles get sent out of the ring with a Claymore kick. And a ladder is sent into Morrison. McIntyre sent Styles for the Claymore kick, but was distracted by Omos, who tosses the steel steps in the ring. He turns back to Styles. Styles ends up chop blocking him, hits the phenomenal forearm, and uses a ladder and a chair. Styles placed McIntyre on the table, hit a diving elbow off the ladder. Styles climbs the ladder, grabs the belt, and they go off the air. There is nothing in this program that makes me want to see what happens next week or makes me want to see what happens at TLC. I don't understand who their target audience is, but I don't think they're hitting it. Anyway, we'll be back with more, including AEW Dark Review, as well as Impact, and several more episodes of the Mid-South Review series.